beaming around the planet and across the galaxy. This is the Darren Sanders Show!
Joining me now is probably one of our most regular guests. It is the voiceover man and all-round media personality. Is it still media personality, Mike?
Call
Goldman,
me what you will, senor.
Radio guy.
Hi, welcome to the Darren Sanders Show. My name is Mike.
I think we're already using your voiceover at the start.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Hey, welcome to the Darren Sanders Show. Yeah. Here's your host.
So, now, Mike, you've got your own stuff you do.
Yep.
You've got your podcast called, what is that podcast called?
On the Mic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It started out as a Big Brother podcast years ago, just with Big Brother housemates, and that went really well. So I'm capitalising off all those unsuspecting people who followed it thinking it was a Big Brother podcast.
That's all right.
Which has now turned into a podcast with people like you, John Laws, my dad.
Well, that's all right. There's some big names here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not mine, but your dad and John Laws.
Tim O'Matic. Holly Brisley, she's back from having kids and having time out for a few years.
I want to talk about John Laws, though, because he would be one where do you feel, you may have known him a long time, though, if you've known him, but he'd be one where I would feel like, wow, this guy's, he's got this mystique about him that, you'd feel like you don't want to step over the mark with him, or he'd kill you with laser beam eyes, or yeah.
He didn't take any shit.
No,
it's like I put in for this interview probably about a year ago.
Yeah,
I asked his producers, and they said that straight away the answer is no. He doesn't want to do a podcast. He doesn't want to do an interview. He just does his radio show, and then he goes home. And then all of a sudden, he had a book coming out.
Okay,
and he was bang up for an interview.
Yeah,
so I booked in, and I got to go into his studio. Normally, I take my own equipment and plug it all in because it's reliable and I know it's going to work.
Yeah,
but I had to go through his equipment and his desk and his golden microphone. There's like this little AM buzz in the background while I'm doing the interview. And I walked in and I said, "Hello, Mr. Laws. So pleased to meet you." And he goes, "Hello, Mark. So what is this podcast thing anyway?" And I'm like, oh no, I'm going to have to explain that.
Yeah.
He was fun. Yeah, he was cool. And I think I won him over at the start because when I first worked on radio, I was in Taree in the country, and I had to panel the John Laws show.
Okay.
And so as soon as I told him that, he was like, "Oh,
what does that mean? If you're in Taree, though, he's in Sydney, and the feed comes down,
and you've just got to... I'd play the local commercials, and I'd come on air quickly in between like a 10-second break and say the weather, and I'd say
that would have changed
the time.
Radio over the years, though, doing it manually and to what is it now? Computerized. You hit one button and away you go. And
totally. All the good old days of radio are gone where, if you wanted to work in radio or TV and, you'd go to the country, you'd learn from out there and then you work your way to the city. But, I mean, now there's you can make your own show, stuff like this. And, and
you like the fact that you used to be able to put on a song on a record and you'd have to know the song to know when you had to stop talking. Mm-hmm. Where now I think then those computers, they tell you when the first lyric of the song comes on, so you talk up to that point. But back then you had to know your music. I don't know if DJs even listen to music now.
No, they don't. They sit there. Well, I used to, a few years ago, I got put on a music shift when I was filling in on a radio station. It was like 40 minutes of music. Yeah. So I just sat there watching TV. I didn't give a crap about what we were playing on the radio. But back when I started, you couldn't play 5 songs back to back. You had to sit there and start the next song and then start the next song.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I was bored and I had a horrible program manager that made me sit there and start each song, I would record them all on a big reel-to-reel tape in the next room, go in, hit play, and then piss off down the shops.
You can say that now because you don't work there.
Yeah, don't care.
I think...
bad luck.
I did mobile DJing when I was 20.
Were you a mobile disco DJ?
Yeah, Moby Disco thing. And
you had a Moby Disco, or was it your own company?
No. I was working, and I was 20. I was saving up money, doing extra work before I went overseas and travelled when I was 21. But I was just always so scared to talk on the mic. You'd be doing people's 21st birthdays, parties, all that stuff, and you'd have the mic ready. But I was so nervous, I just could never. And I'd just play another song. And I remember, because around that time, Love Shack came out.
Yeah.
This is how much I knew about music. So playing Love Shack, and when it gets up to the end there, tin roof, rusted. Yeah. And then what I thought that was the end of the song.
And you come on and start talking.
I started playing another song.
Oh, no.
You should have seen the dance floor. Like they looked around at me like I was some sort of crazy guy. And then actually what I did is at the end of the next song, I played the final bit of Love Shack.
Oh.
See, so I may have been.
So
the
you were
first.
mixing?
Oh, yeah.
You were cutting up and mixing and scratching and doing your thing. Yeah. I had mobile disco gear, which was actually my dad's because he was a radio DJ back in the 80s, 70s, 80s. 90s, even today he's on 2SM. But when I was about 13 or 14, he let me use it for half the money that I'd get paid. And I got a few gigs here and there. And then when I was about 16, someone asked me at a party if I could DJ the Manly War Memorial Club. Yep. On a Friday night and maybe a Saturday night as well. And I'm thinking, I'm not 18, I can't work there. And I said, yeah, sure. Yeah. Told my dad, he let me work there. He even helped me load in the gear. Well, and after about 3 months, I got busted for being underage.
Oh, really? 3 months? Well, you got 3 months' work out of it.
3 months worth of work.
I remember we lived in a country town and my dad at the community club there, or the football club, they'd have their nightclub nights and we'd have to take the stereo from home. And it was just a couple of big speakers and the record player and the twin cassette players in the front there. But and then you'd whack on the best compilation album of the day, and then that was it. That was
plug it in and away you go.
Yeah, that was the
fun.
DJ then.
Mobile DJing.
Well, what are you doing now? What are you up to nowadays?
Mention the On The Mic podcast, which is going well. I'm doing a couple of documentaries at the moment. One is on the Great Dividing Range for Nat Geo and Wild Bear Entertainment.
Yeah.
And another
Wild Bear Entertainment, has that got anything to do with Bear Grylls?
No. Oh. It's not. It's probably Australia's biggest documentary and content producers around there in Canberra, in Melbourne and Queensland. Great company, and doing a couple of docos for them on Nat Geo, and another one.
Can you talk about what the docos are about, or where you're going to go?
Well, the Great Dividing Range. Would you like me? I got the script here. I could read it off my phone.
No, it's okay.
180 million years ago, when the Earth was one big landmass called Gondwana, Australia spread out from the other continents, and all the masses of land started to back away, except for fucking New Zealand. So what New Zealand did, instead of going that way, New Zealand backed into Australia and caused over 70 million years this massive Great Dividing Range.
Maybe
they backed into us and didn't even leave a ticket on our windscreen.
Okay, maybe you should save that to the doco, because we might get sued if or is that just a teaser for the doco?
Oh, no, that's a teaser. That's that's not the actual script. But
it was very convincing.
Well. No, thank you. Another one for Indonesia, because the Indonesian government want to promote all the great places to go over there, which aren't Bali, because 99.9% of Australian tourists go to Bali, and there's some incredible places to go.
I would prefer to go over there and not go to Bali.
Yeah, me too.
To a lot of the other places and islands. There's so many islands over there too.
I say that, but the last couple of times I went there, I only went to Bali. So as a part of this show, I'm going over there to discover all these incredible places in, Sumatra and, Yogyakarta, and I'll go to Jakarta and just discover some places that Australians probably wouldn't normally ever go, and some incredible surfing spots. Yep. And I want to get to know their Indonesian culture and sort of bridge that divide between Australia and Indonesia, because I feel like a lot of Australians don't really know a lot lot about Indonesia.
They probably, they probably don't even know it's called Indonesia. They probably just think it's
Bali's
called Bali.
Another country.
Yeah, it's just like we're going to Bali, the country of
and
Bali. Yeah.
Indonesia's had so much bad publicity in Australia, not through any fault of its own. I mean, things like Chappelle Corby smuggling drugs into the country, Bali 9. And you got those shows on 60 Minutes that like what happens in Bali, all that kind of thing. And they really overplay how horrible it is over there when it comes to people burning around on scooters and hurting themselves and stuff like that. So I think this is going to be a great show.
The population over there is enormous. Yeah. So
230 million people.
It was not surprising stuff happens. But it's just probably relative to the same things that happen here.
But we should be doing more. Great shows with people who are Indonesian. We should have Australian celebrities or famous over there and vice versa. Yeah. Like in Indonesia, their Facebook use per capita is the biggest in the world out of the 230 million people. The majority of people don't have TVs.
Okay.
They just got this. They got the mobile phone where they sit there and watch stuff. And there's little Indonesian dudes who have got like 30, 40, 50 million people following them on Facebook. So they do a Facebook Live.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting, 50 times the viewing audience of one of the TV stations here in Australia. That's me doing, the odd voiceover, still doing the Amart sports commercials after 20-something years.
That's not bad, though.
Best sports store chain in Australia.
You might as well get all the plugs in you can on this show. It doesn't matter.
What else can I plug?
We don't have any.
My Airbnb. Did I mention I've got an Airbnb up for rent in Queensland?
Do you?
Yeah, that's my house I bought. I rent here in Sydney, but I bought a place up there and stick it on Airbnb. But how good is Airbnb?
It's great. We used it when we went to America. Fantastic. Right on Venice Beach. Beautiful.
So good.
Yeah.
Hotels must be freaking out.
Yeah, maybe I should Airbnb just living in Sydney.
Well, I think it'd probably be more expensive to do that rather than renting long term.
Yeah.
Because I'm making more money out of renting out my place Airbnb up in Queensland than renting it out long term. It's probably about 40% more than I would normally make. But it's just unreal. But I've had a few embarrassing things happen.
Do you like the Uber thing too? Do you like Uber?
Yeah, love Uber. But you know what? What annoys the crap out of me, I don't know how much I'm allowed to swear on this show. What annoys the crap out of me is Uber and their, what is it, the excessive rates or the...
right, yeah.
You know, what is it
busy
called?
peak period, maybe?
Yeah, peak period rate. Hang on a minute. That means you're really busy. That means you're making a lot of money. It doesn't mean put your price up.
Yeah.
So bring your price down. We're going to do so much work. We're going to knock the price down a little bit.
We had an issue with somebody accepted our lift the other night and then just decided to take another one. So instead of us cancelling, they cancelled. And then I'm like, where you...
I went to jump in an Uber the other night in Bondi, and the Uber guy goes, Mike? I went, yeah, jumped in. And he started driving me to Randwick. And I'm going, no, go to North Bondi, mate. And he goes, yeah, Mike? I went, yeah. And he goes, you're going to Randwick? And I looked at my app. And it's like, no, I'm going to Bondi. Oh, wait, hang on a minute. Some other dude called Mike has got my car. So I was going to this guy's house. Anyway, I've been living with his wife now for the last week, and they're amazing. No.
If you're on social media, people can track you down as Mike Goldman. Was it Mike Goldman TV?
At Mike Goldman Live.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. I do have a website, Mike Goldman TV.
Okay.
That's like a corporate-y thing with like my voiceover reel.
You sort of wonder if people... Do people go to websites now? It's all social media, isn't it?
Well, I think... It's good to have a website because if you're going to, sell like the Darren Sanders DVD, then you want to direct people from your social media back to your website so you can flog that off or, sell tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
So you'll definitely always need a website. But I'm just Mike Goldman Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And if you want to check out On The Mic, go to onthemic.com. You can hear a podcast with Darren Sanders.
Yeah.
All sorts of people.
Sweet. Thanks for coming on again.
That's all right, buddy.
All right.
Thanks for having me. And thanks for having me at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So now it's 5. I'm going to get peak hour. Well, I was thinking maybe I just hang out for a couple of hours till it dies down and watch TV. Is that all right?
Yeah, no worries. All right. Cheers, man.
Thanks for having me.
Remember, you can bet your life on it with the Online Gamble Guys. Check out their website for full terms and conditions. What better way to lose everything you have and have worked hard for than giving it to our good friends, the Online Gamble Guys. Now with some news from young Australian Mark Williamson.
Thank you, Darren. 80% of all new art is now found on top of coffee.
Now, if you are a Facebook follower, of course, you do get chances to win prizes on the show. Joining me now on the line, Angie Maxwell. How are you, Angie?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I feel like I'm going to give away some Akmal stuff at the moment. So all you need to do is pick the correct fact. And the DVDs and the book are yours. Okay?
Okay.
Now, here are the choices. Here are the choices for you. The first one, coffee was first used by the Arabs as medicine. Or, cows are allergic to human milk. First one.
Number 2 is true.
Number 2 is true. I really want to give you this pack. Okay? So, think again. The first one, coffee was first used by Arabs as medicine.
Oh, yes, that's true.
You think that's the one?
Yes.
Yes, me too. That's it. That is the correct answer. Coffee was first used by the Arabs for medicine. Who would have thought? And I think people use it now.
No.
We will get the Akmal pack out to you in the mail as soon as we can.
Okay, thank you very much.
This show could be accused of lacking a bit of glamour, but things are about to change as we welcome April Fools. Welcome, April.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Let's talk about drag, because I'm guessing, I'm just really going out on a limb here, but I'm guessing you are a drag queen.
Yes, so a lot of people get quite confused with what drag is and transgender is, and there's so many labels today in society. But I am a drag queen.
Right.
So I live my life as a boy, and I dress up for work. Just as a doctor would get dressed up for work, I would get dressed.
Don't get dressed up.
Well, not really. They just throw on the outfit. No makeup involved.
I think they just take everything off and put on a gown. They actually don't have to. Because, maybe GPs are different. I was thinking.
Well, they got to be comfy with their.
I was thinking a surgical doctor there. That's why in my head I'm thinking surgery. I don't know why I'm looking at you and thinking surgery, but you've had nothing done, have you?
No, nothing at all.
No, and then you got no need to.
No, not at all. No. So it's all for entertainment. So I put my fake boobs in and tuck my penis away.
Yeah, that's the official word for it. You're allowed to use that. How do you tuck your penis away?
So it can be quite uncomfortable depending on how long it's going to be.
You don't just move them to one side?
No, not quite. Then you would have one thigh that's thicker than the other.
All right, okay.
So what happens is you sort of shove your testicles up into your stomach where they sort of came from, and then everything else gets flung underneath.
Where they came from, but they came from there a long time ago. They didn't come from there. You know.
They're like, "Hello, we're back."
Yeah. There's a comedian, Eddie Izzard, who. I don't believe he's gay, but he just likes to wear women's clothes and put on the makeup and do all that sort of stuff. And he says, like, when people, I saw him on an interview recently, somebody said, "Oh, you like to dress like a woman?" He goes, "No, I just dress. I don't dress like a woman." It's like when a woman wears pants, you don't go, "Well, she's dressing like a man."
Yeah, clothes are clothes, really.
Yeah, so that's what it came down to.
Yeah, like this is just fabric that I got from a clothing store, and I could have made it into a male clothing or female clothing.
What, you made that yourself?
Yeah, actually I did, yeah.
Well, what is your job? Your day job? Is there a day job?
I used to have a day job, so I've been a hairdresser for about 10 years now,
right.
And then about 5 years ago when I first started drag, I became a makeup artist as well.
Okay.
But drag is so multi-skilled, like you have to dance, you have to entertain, like hosting, sewing, doing costumes, wigs, makeup. There's so much involved in it.
Yeah, it's
so
a lot
I'm
like
quite lucky to have...
A lot like my job. Yeah, nothing like my job at all. Drag has been lifted through film into the mainstream, I guess, that people now observe it and think, oh yeah, and it's something that people always recall and probably will associate with, once Priscilla came out to do that.
Definitely, it's thrown it a little bit more mainstream, and I think it's one of my sort of personal goals for drag to become more mainstream and for people to understand it and what it is, and just take it for what it is. And it's been sort of shoved to the side for a long time.
I'd like to see you reading the weather on the news. That would be
good. Why not?
That's mainstream enough, A
lot of drag queens don't feel that it will ever become mainstream, and I think, there's shows like Lip Sync for Your Life and all that, and a lot of that
that started off, didn't it, in lip syncing thing. Drag queens have been doing that for forever.
Like that all came from us, and I think that the drag queens haven't taken credit for it. But I'm glad to see it out there, because at least what we do and what we've perfected is being put more mainstream, and hopefully people will see it and wonder where it came from and think, oh yeah, the drag queens actually invented that. Because they did.
The bingo thing, let's talk about that. You do host bingo nights.
So I work for a company called Turbo Trivia. So we host trivias and bingos. So I'm currently doing 2 nights a week at venues, and that's every single week. So that's my work.
All right. So where can we find where the venues are that you're working? Are they?
So you can always Google Turbo Trivia.
Don't have to Google. Just tell us a website, and it'll be on the bottom of the screen.
It's somewhere, but it's Turbo Trivia, company name, and it has all the venues, all the drag queens and stuff that work for them. If there's any venues that would like to hire us as well and bring some entertainment to their venues and more patrons and stuff for food.
So it's sort of a mix of variety show and bingo, and what's better? Bingo. Okay, here we go. I'll give you a bingo test then. I'll yell out some numbers. Say like number 10 came out.
Okay, number 10, it's April's Den, number 10.
Okay, all right.
Give me more.
Number 7.
Number 7, lucky number 7, all on its own, number 7.
Okay, 69.
69, here we go. A favourite of mine, upside down against the wall, against the bed frame, anywhere you like, 69.
Okay, there you go. What do the numbers go up to in your bingo?
All the way up to 90.
Okay.
Just top of the shop as far as we go in bingo.
Right, I got you. Well, there you go. Other than the bingo, you do live shows.
So I
country tours and outback tours, just like Priscilla.
Yeah, so I've performed like on the desert at Uluru in Alice Springs for a show, which we got flown over there to do, which was amazing. Doing
That's lucky to get flown there because it's expensive to fly there.
Yeah.
I know. I wanted to go there and take my girlfriend there for a holiday, and when I saw the price of the flight, we could go to New York.
Oh, I thought better start walking.
Yeah. So, hey, if anybody wants to employ me for a show,
Yes, I'm also in a show called Drags to Bitches, which tours around all over Australia doing Priscilla, doing Christmas shows. So that's called Drags to Bitches, which you can Google or find, or there's a link again.
Okay, we can plug that one for you as well.
So that's amazing. So we get to do impersonation. So I do Cher in the show. I also do Mariah Carey. We also have like a singing drag queen who yodels. So she's amazing. So she sings live.
Right.
So if you like live singers and entertainment.
Each year, do you look forward to the Mardi Gras? Is that something that...
Yeah, Mardi Gras, it's fabulous. So I tend to take the night off just because it's Mardi Gras every week for me. And at least a lot of the other people that don't get to experience that can go out and, have fun and do their thing and enjoy it. And it's great seeing it on the telly. I always watch like the parade and everything. The other year I got to perform at the after party, which was amazing. So I performed as one of the backup dancers for Conchita Wurst.
Righto.
Yeah, so she was from Eurovision.
The Eurovision winner. Yeah.
So that was amazing. And
when you say it's the after party, though, I figure an after party, the Mardi Gras is probably Tuesday.
It just keeps on going.
It'd go for a while, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like the whole Mardi Gras season is like, I think it's about a week or two. So you've got like, there's like a park field day thing as well, and they've got like all the parties.
Because now the government are helping you out, aren't they?
Feel free to help us out a bit more.
Social media wise, you'd be out there, I guess, on I know you're on Instagram.
Yes, so Instagram, I mainly do my stuff through Instagram, because on there you can see all the makeup that I do, you can see a lot of the shows, all the events and stuff that I do. I also have Facebook, but on your
Instagram too, when you said then the makeup on Instagram, we can see you unmade up.
Yes, so you
as a regular Joe.
You will see me straight out of the shower.
Okay, maybe not go to Instagram then.
Hi. So my Instagram is Drag April, so it'll say it somewhere along here or somewhere.
It'll be there.
So it does have my email and contact information on there, so anyone that's looking to book me for any weddings, so I do host weddings as well, any shows.
Weddings, really weddings?
Yeah,
you know, it'd be good to...
I have to try and not look as good as a bride on the day, but so I have to sort of dress down a little bit.
Thank you very much for coming down. You have to go and I guess untuck yourself. And
yes, I do.
Yeah. How long does it take you to get ready to go?
So it takes about 2.5 hours for the makeup, and then about half an hour to an hour to get dressed, do the wig,
and then to get unmade up.
Unmade up, it's like 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Just throws it all off, straight into bed.
Really? Yeah. See, that'd be a bit scary. They'd wake up the next morning and look around on the floor of your house and there's wigs and dresses, and you'd be, geez, what a night I had.
I might have a little bit of lipstick still stained.
Thank you very much for coming on. Okay, bye.
Thank you for having me.
Jeez, that's a firm handshake.
Yeah.
Coming up on the next episode of The Darren Sanders Show.
Before the money shot, there's a break.
Yeah.
And I was sitting off the sidelines. They said to me, they're talking, they're orchestrating the money shot. And they said, Nikki, do you want to have a say? And it's like, yeah, I get to direct a porno. So we were talking about what particular position and how you would do it.
The Darren Sanders Show was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. Mike Goldman speaking.